our second place rider this weekend in Millville, and putting on a hell of a show in that second moto, and a great story to start the Nationals. Geico Honda's Jeremy Martin. What's up, Jay Martin? How are you, man?
Ah, Steve.
What's up, Jay Martin? How are you?
I'm doing good, man. I'm just, had a good day training today on the dirt bike. I mean, not on the dirt bike, but off the dirt bike.
Yep.
And, just still feeling a little bit from the weekend.
Hey, I heard. We'll get to our little beef we have, me and you, right now. We'll get to that in a little bit here, J Mart. But what Millville track prep? I heard from one rider told me he didn't like it. It was too hard. It wasn't ripped deep enough and watered. Another guy told me it was great. You could go anywhere you wanted to on the track. You could go inside to outside. And you know that track better than anybody. What did you think of the prep that your dad and everybody else did? And did you like it, or would you like to seen it better?
Honestly, for me, I mean, obviously it's rained, I think, the last couple of years at Millville?
Yeah.
So at least it was dry. But, I mean, I for sure would have liked to have seen the big ripper in the ground and had a little bit more of just the track didn't really have much character. So, like, in Moto 1, everyone's pretty fresh. It was colder out.
Yep.
And then, I couldn't make any moves. Like, I got up on Alex and Jet, and I just ate roost the entire freaking time. And, like, I tried inside, I tried outside. I couldn't make anything work. And then it was like, finally, Moto 2, it kind of came around to have a little bit more character. But for sure, I wish the track would have been deeper, more soft, and just had some more lines,
Right. Okay. Yeah, interesting. Because for you, tougher the track, the bumpier it is, the more advantage you have over guys, I guess, right?
I mean, I feel like it's, the same for everybody. But, yeah, I mean, essentially I feel like I'm in pretty good shape.
Right.
I can pound the track pretty hard, even when it's rough like that. But, Millville's always a little bit of like a trickier track. So, like, it's always been like there's certain areas that you can pass on,
Right.
And that's just the way that it is, And, I mean, it was a lot different than what I did a couple local races or just what I ride during the week. I mean, it was a lot different.
It's the best track on the circuit, J-Mart. I just want to say that. I talked about that. I wrote about it. It's the best track on the circuit. It's not the best viewing, and I don't like how there's not a Starbucks close by, and I don't like how my phone doesn't really get service there. But as a track, it's the best track.
You sound like a straight-up city folk.
Well, that is true.
You and your cell service and your Starbucks.
It's
a dirt bike track, man.
It is. It's an ultimate track, though, Jeremy. It's got everything you want. It's great.
Yeah, no, I mean, the track's definitely one of the best ones on the circuit, I think, and I know I grew up there, and I might be kind of biased, but I've also rode all the outdoor national tracks, and I think it's up for a podium performance, right?
Yeah.
Like a podium spot.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So people talk about how, from you guys growing up, people look at, their dad owns the track. They've rode it their whole life, How different is it really when you guys mess around on it? And do you guys even ride the national track that often, you and your brother growing up? Do you guys ride more up top? Like, can you explain to people how much different it really is on National Day?
Yeah, for sure. So, like, the local race that I did with Alex earlier this year, the braking bumps developed, like, 100 yards earlier. That's what it seems like going into every freaking turn. It seems like the braking bumps they start way sooner. And for the pro day, the bumps are a lot closer to the turn, but they're bigger. And then the lines that we have from how we carry speed, the lines just push. The lines start from, you sweep out and then you cut in and then it drifts to the outside on the way out. You know what I mean? So where the amateur guys just kind of tend to they're not carrying as much speed and they're more straight up and down. So like the ruts will actually kind of get deep. And then there's more lines, I would say,
Okay, interesting, yeah. Hey, that second moto, that was awesome. I was cheering by myself in my living room watching it. That was cool, man. You guys were pushing. It was awesome. You had to have been stoked. I mean, look, you came up on the losing end of that, which isn't awesome, but it was cool to see two guys lay it out like that, J-Mart.
Yeah, it was fun. I mean, kind of look at getting back to our little beef that we got going on here. You know, I saw the tweet. You're like, oh frick, man, like J Mart needs to get back to the dealership.
Well, listen, the dealership thing, I don't understand it. Like, listen, you had a bad injury, and I understand, you know, you're back from this injury and you're winning races, and that's cool and everything else. But you've said this deal, you've helped out this buddy with a dealership, and I don't know, J Mart. I just think it's a little different when, you know, you're a millionaire and you're helping out a buddy at a dealership. Your injury is a different story. I'm not making fun of that. That's an incredible comeback by you, and I understand that you would be appreciative of racing after recovering from something like that. But the dealership, J Mart, I mean, come on.
All right, so hey, here's the deal.
Okay.
So if we're gonna give you know, you're a really good reporter.
Thank you.
Your job is to kind of poke the rider a little bit, right? Like
a little bit.
Your job is to get a little bit of something out of them, and you know, maybe get something that you wouldn't. And you've done it for a long time, so you've become good at it.
Yeah.
And I respect you for that. But if we're gonna go this way, we gotta be honest. So, I mean, do we start out and do you read the tweets off? And then we can describe the whole deal. Because I'm not mad at you.
No. I know that. No. I just said that J Mart. You've talked about working at this dealership and having a real job for a living, and I'm like, okay, I get it. Your buddy has a shop, and it's awesome. You went to go help him. We've talked about it on the show that you would go in and help your buddy out, and you know you did get a glimpse of what it was like to have a real job, but. But J Mart, you've got a lot of money in the bank. You've been super successful in this motocross career. Like, no matter what happened, you don't have to work at a dealership, J Mart. You know what I mean? You have a lot of options with your money that you've earned, rightfully so earned. So that's all. That's where I was bugging Alex and bugging you on Twitter, where I'm like, it's a little different than, say, Michael Lindsay going into a dealership, or myself. I worked at a dealership for 3 years when I was a kid. You know, so I get it.
Well, I mean, for one of the tweets that you said was like I was like a multimillionaire. Definitely not true. Between the business expenses that I have to reinvest into myself, to win races, and then training at these training facilities to get an education from Carmichael's to the Nest to Tomax to everything, like I put a lot of money back into myself to learn. Like it's been like my college education. So, I mean, you know, and then, you know, I've been fortunate enough to win. You think a guy that has won 2 championships and, you know, is up there in the 250, you know, winningest all time. Yes, am I in a position to have I done okay? Yes, but I'm not a multimillionaire. And the whole idea behind the dealership, Steve, was like, for me, it wasn't about the money. It was about the fact that, you know, it happened June 23rd of 2018 when Cooper and I got together.
Right.
You know, I'm in the hospital. Like, I'm almost fucking paralyzed. And for me, it was, I couldn't bend or twist for like a year, dude. So when I went to the Stedman clinic, my back hadn't even healed at all, you know? So a long time had gone by, and like, dude, I was like, I said I was fine, you know, like when you guys would call and check in, but I wasn't. You know, like I was in a dark, dark place, and I didn't know what to do. And for me, like I've always woke up and I've had that goal. So I went to my local buddy's dealership, which I probably wasn't qualified to work for. You know,
you're not a Honda certified tech, Yamaha certified tech.
Yeah. So it wasn't about the money. It was about the principle of, okay, dude, like I'm mentally fucked up. Like I'm struggling to get up every day. You know, I was hooked on drugs.
Yep.
You know, and I had to get off those, and I had to like, are you ready to move on from racing? That was my thing, you know, and I wanted to get a job to kind of understand what it was like and to appreciate what I've had, because I've never had a normal job like you guys or whatever else, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So that for me, that's what it was about, is like getting up, doing something instead of just sitting on the couch and just saying, oh, well, hey, I've got this Geico, you know, I got hurt on the job, Geico's going to pay me, and just ride that way. like, that's not who I am, and that wasn't in my DNA. So I just had to get out of the house, and I had to, like, I just wanted to just be around people and keep my mind straight. And then I did the dealership, and I was, like, kind of learning new stuff, and then I would walk around and get some blood flow going and stuff, and it really helped me out a lot, you know?
What did you do there? Like, did you box parts up? Did you like sell stuff on the phone to people?
Well, yeah. So, like, I mean, I wasn't really. I would answer the phone a little bit.
Okay.
Hey, this is Jeremy Martin. Welcome to.
I wonder if anybody knew who you were. I wonder if anybody
Some
knew.
Some people did know. Yeah, and it actually kind of helped out his business, Jason's business a little bit, you know. And
yeah.
brought some people in, so that was cool. And I would, like, at the time, I still couldn't bend or twist, so I was wearing, like, a brace every time I got out of bed.
Yeah.
I had to have this.
The turtle shell.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then I got, like, and I would just vacuum the floors, and I would, you know, clean the toilet. And I couldn't even, like, bend over to clean the toilet. And then I would take, like, all the packages that would come in, I would open them up, and it would be, like, 100% goggles and, like, you know, gloves and fly gear, everything. And then I would just go through it all, and then I would price tag everything, you know?
Okay, so you would be tagging stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and then if someone called me, then I would, like, you know, or whatever, and they'd want to look up, and I'd have to look up a part number. And, dude, like, I've never been in that situation in my life. So then I'm like, all right, man, there's, like, there's 4 or 5 part number books. And I'm, like, trying to go look through this stuff, and I'm just like, man, I'm, like, this is blowing my mind, you know?
Are you over there appreciating what Pedro and the guys have to every time they got to get you a part? They're over there digging through, ordering, reordering everything.
Yeah, Jared, listen, full props to you, full respect for you for laying it out there and talking about it. And your comeback from the injury is impressive. I mean, you're pretty damn close to your old level. Although you said you're not quite there yet, right? You're not quite there?
I mean, dude, honestly, I think I'm really starting to close the gap, I think, for sure. Like, obviously, Dylan and I faced off at Indiana, and he waxed me, you know? And I've been trying to gain that little bit. Yes, it is the home track advantage, I guess some people would say. But at the same time, when you're racing those guys, you know, he's raced Millville before. So I don't really feel like it's much of an advantage. And like you said it yourself, like, you know, you rode the Geico bike, and then, you know, you had your opinion on your talk show before that it's not on the level of the Star bike.
Right.
And, you know, as far as for me, you know, I've said in some podcasts too, and I've heard people say, like, well, you know, J-Mark says that the blue bikes are better or whatever. The Geico bike, those guys work so hard, and the bike is definitely the best Geico bike I've ever rode, hands down. Like, I'm so proud of the guys. As hard as I work, that's what they're doing every day to get up and make the bike better, you know? And, I mean, dude, I'm competitive, and I'm in this title fight on that bike that you said, you know, honestly, wasn't on that level. And I think, you know, for basically being out for as long as I have, I think it's pretty damn impressive.
Yeah. Well, I bet you at times at Millville it was a little frustrating to get close to Dylan and have him kind of pull you up the hills a little bit. And it's not a slight on the Geico bike. Like you said, it's come a long ways. It's working really well. But there's no doubt the Yamaha with the motor design they have is a little better, I think, than every other bike in the class right now. So that had to be at times, you know, perfect example where he got you, right? We're up that uphill triple, right? And or he pulled away a little bit more, I should say. A little. You were working so hard, and then you know you have to be perfect, right? And he can make a little mistake and still be okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I have to be perfect. You know, like at the bottom of the downhill, there's a kink in the turn, right?
Yep.
You know, and the way he rides, he's really good, and he goes really fast with not a lot of energy. You know.
Yep.
And I'm a bulldog, right? So I know that, like, coming into the season, I have to be more fit, you know? And I understand that. And he can afford to sometimes take the hiccup in the turn and still accelerate out. Like be patient and wait and then hammer it, right? Well, I have to be perfect.
Yeah.
And, you know, and I can't believe how fast the bike was. I mean, dude, we were making the uphill triple no problem this year on that Geico bike.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I was like, and I was like, damn, this is good, you know.
And you guys had a huge lead on third too, which is cool to see. You guys were pushing. That part I thought was most impressive, or how much he took his race riding to a new level and you matched him. You know what I mean? And you guys just worked everybody else. So, yeah, that was pretty impressive.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, for sure. And, you know, like to go that speed the entire moto, like what I did that last 2 laps, like I went all in, like mental fast, you know, but it's really hard to sustain that for 30 plus 2, you know?
Yep.
And I knew that with a guy like him, like, you know, I could get up on him in certain spots and then he would kind of pull me in other spots. And I was trying to, like, I knew he was getting me, like, in the whoops. If you guys noticed, like halfway down, like there was 3 whoops in.
He was doubling.
He was getting over this.
Yeah.
He was like getting over this hole better than me, and like I couldn't quite like execute it. I knew what he was doing, but then he would open that turn up and then come back, and his acceleration out of that turn coming back was like freaking crazy. And I'm like trying to open the turn up to carry speed and to drive forward, and like I could do it, but I got better, but I couldn't quite get it like as good as him every time, you know?
Right.
Speaking of those last 2 laps, particularly the last lap, I mean, from you guys, moment you dropped down the hill, you had your chance. Is there any moment in your head you didn't think you were going to make the corner at the bottom, your last send? Because that's all we start screaming, just stay off the brakes, or watch you come down. I'm like, man, I don't know if he's going to make it.
Right.
Yeah, no, dude, I was like, you got to send it down. And I was like, if I could have just been a little bit closer, maybe I could have done a good old monorail on him, you know, around him.
Yep.
And I watched the footage and I was like, damn it, man, couldn't you have like pivoted at that speed and then just gone inside? And I'm like, how the hell do you pivot going that fast down a hill, you know?
I thought you were going Bonze around the outside. That's what I was like, here it comes.
Well, from that corner at the bottom of the hill to the next left to the last couple corners before the finish, I felt like every one of them I'm either making this corner or I'm flying off the bike. Like each one wasn't I didn't feel like you left anything anything in any of those corners, you know, out there that you couldn't have. Those last couple, I didn't. Did you enter every one of them just going, I'm either going down or railing this?
That's pretty much like I was full, like, I knew that if I maybe would have put a push on earlier, to fend him off would have been tough.
Right.
And I was trying really hard to, like, obviously to keep up with him, but then I knew I had a little bit more in the tank. So I was like, I'm going to go all in these last 2 laps. And then if I can get him on the last lap, all I got to do is make it to the finish, baby. But yeah, no, I hit that. We came down Mount Martin. We made that right, and then we made that left. I'm like, dude, you better hit this thing as good as you can. And when I came in, my left grip hit that service marker, and I just sent it in there. Yeah, I felt it nick it, and then I made that right. And then, as you guys saw, there was a kink on the exit of that, on that next turn. And I knew the kink was there, and I was like, dude, you can't let off. And I hit that thing and just full on smashed it. The berm was probably gone.
Yeah.
And then I tried to just, like, power drift that next turn to try to get him. And, dude, he fended me off good.
I found it weird how often he was looking around for you. I thought that was weird. Like, he was really checking you out, like, oh, shit. Where's J-Mart, you know? So I thought that was odd, but hey, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I sometimes I don't think I really just shut off. Even when I left the takeoff phase, I was like trying to get in there and distract them.
Right.
I hate to put you a little on the spot, but I know it's the weirdest. 2020 is the weirdest year any of us have experienced in our lives, in the industry, and anything. Like, where's your headspace at these days with what you want to do next year? I know we're all hoping everything with the team sticks around. If something is to happen, you have an opportunity. Do Do you want to stay 250? Would you like to go 450? Do you have any thoughts on that, or you just doesn't matter? We get to it when we get to it.
No, for sure. I'll be pretty honest about it, and this is going to bring up the other beef that Steve has with me about the Supercross thing. Are you still mad about that, Steve?
I don't like guys. Yes, I am. I'm not mad at you. I like the way you handled it. I like the way that you said, listen, I don't want to point out. You didn't fake a groin pull.
Yeah, you're straight up.
You know what I mean? Like a lot of these guys, don't show up. They get injured. They say they're injured. So I do like the fact that you just straight up admitted it, and your team and everything. I like that. But I don't like the rule. I hate the rule. It's just stupid because you're a star of the sport. You should be at the races for your team. You know what I mean? Like that it's just ridiculous that somehow the one of the best riders in that class is not there. So I don't like that. I don't like that part of it at all. I mean, I guess like I said, I like the fact that you guys were like, "Hey man, I don't want to point out." I admire that.
Yeah. I didn't know if maybe kind of the tweets that you were kind of sending out. I didn't know if that was like from the Supercross thing. I thought maybe and me kind of lying at the airport. But
that was fine.
I couldn't. I had to at the airport. I was like, when I'm doing the deal, I'm like, man, like, the team is going to make the press release, and as soon as the team makes the first deal, then I'm game to be honest about it.
Right,
and that's what I did.
Yeah.
But I had to wait.
Yeah, for sure. No, none of that, J Mart. I understand what you did. I don't like it, but I get it, and I like the way you guys were honest about it. So that's all. Yeah. But go ahead. About next year.
Going back, so for next year, obviously I am contracted with Geico to do the 250 program. And I had to forego the Supercross to become eligible for me to be in that position. But dude, we lost Geico, the title sponsor, and they've been, with us, with the team for 13 years, man. And as of right now, they're working to find a title sponsor. So I have a gig for next year if they land a title sponsor, right?
Right.
But I am open and I am in discussion for, next year in case that does fall through.
Mm-hmm.
And, I've been in talks and I saw the stuff, some people talked about, gas and stuff like that. So, honestly, they're way gnarlier, the people on the forums. I mean, I've talked with those guys a little bit, but I just said the same thing I said to you guys. Like, listen, this is where I'm at. We're working on trying to find a title sponsor, and I can't give you a yes or a no because I have to wait for the team that I'm contracted with. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
And that's kind of where I'm at with it,
But if you had to choose, you would honor your commitment for 250 class with Geico, with the Honda team. If everything was equal, right? That's where you'll be. If they find a title and everything else, you'll be in 250s again on a Honda with the Factory Connection guys.
Yeah. And hopefully, I think it's looking really positive. But if it didn't, heaven forbid, don't wish this on anything, because we have such a good team and such good staff. But if something didn't happen and I had to go elsewhere, I would still do 250.
Okay. Right. Jeremy Martin on the show, brought to you by Vertex Piston, sales at pivotworks.com. If you want a deal from Vertex Piston guys, 2-stroke, 4-stroke pistons. We got a question for you here, J Mart from Reed. Let's get into that. Reed, are you there?
Yeah.
What's your question for Jeremy Martin?
I'm a big fan.
Okay.
I want him to beat Dylan Ferrandis.
He's trying. He's trying.
I'm trying, buddy. I've definitely beat him a couple times this year, and it's on my to-do list. Let's just say that.
Thanks, Reed. Thanks for calling. He's working on it.
Hey, you got any tips for me?
You got any tips for him how to be the next Jeremy Martin, J Mart?
Well, what kind of bike do you got, buddy?
A a PW and a Cobra. What?
Okay, right on. Well, I tell you what, just ride the wheels off that thing. It doesn't matter how good you are or whatever. Just go out there and have fun and enjoy it with your family. And you're young yet, so you can have some fun and go just fall in love with riding the dirt bike and you'll be all right.
There you go. Thanks, Reed.
You're welcome.
Thank you. How about Troll Train? 4-4 on the podium. I mean, you know, not too bad, J Mart.
Yeah, it's not bad, but Steve, again, I'm gonna pick on you a little bit.
Okay, go ahead.
I love it.
I am. I'm Troll
The
Train.
Troll Train is gonna beat me this year.
I
Trust
did.
me.
Yeah. I mean, I thought this was our
I mean,
year.
didn't you learn your lesson after having to clean Mitch's shop?
I know, right? I know.
Still haven't seen the video proof.
I know. I just one of these years, Alex is gonna, dig deep here, J Mart, and get you. You know, I mean, I thought we moved over for you at the local race, to let you by, but maybe not. Maybe you're just faster. So.
Yeah, the old Troll Train. I'll tell you what, he's probably listening right now, and he's probably sitting on his couch petting his cat Dave with his Normatec boots on.
his cat's name is Dave.
Yeah, it's Dave.
Oh God, dude. Go ahead, Michael.
I got a curious one for you. Maybe guys out there listening are always looking for riding advice and stuff. I think people watch you or your brother Alex, and I think something that really stands out, of course, you two, is your guys' roll speed. Your guys' ability, the way you guys carve and roll corner, your middle corner speed, how much you carry in and how you actuate. I mean, did you guys have a coach you worked with when you were younger that pushed you guys into certain drills or anything? Or, like, where do you – because you both are really good at it. I feel like it's a standout in your guys' riding character compared to some guys that come in and maybe stands in and want to punch it out. I feel like you guys are just able to roll and actuate so cleanly and carry it so smoothly.
I think honestly, man, like I've been fortunate enough to work with a ton of people. Like, I remember when I was young doing the Tony D schools. I did a Matt Walker school. I mean, I did so many schools with people like a Shannon Ide and, I've done so many stuff. But I think I would attest a lot of it to, like, my turning and my ability to be able to, like, carry that roll speed like you're saying is just from repetition. And I would just do sometimes I don't even ride. When I growing up, I wouldn't even really ride the main tracks that we have at Millville. I would just do a 30-second corner track, and I would do 40-minute motos on them.
Oh,
Jeez. Yeah, God.
And, like, I did a lot of that stuff. Did a lot of that, like, in 2015, too, and I still do it a little bit now, but, sometimes I do, like, laps, like, 70-some laps in a 40-minute moto and just 30-second lap times. Just freaking.
I think people don't appreciate how much a good corner track can just ruin you and tire you out.
Before we get, go ahead, Jim.
That's just kind of what why I go back to just saying repetition, guys.
Yeah. We got a couple more calls for you, Jeremy, and then we'll let you go. First up, it's Jared on 2. Jared, what's going on? What's your question for Jeremy Martin?
How's it going, guys?
Good.
So, J-Mart, I just had a question. So, you've been very open throughout the whole national series that you don't have the speed Ferrandis does. But in that second moto Saturday, you showed you had the speed. Is that a big momentum builder for you, and you feel like you can really carry that speed a lot more throughout the rest of the series and make it more of a fights where you don't feel like you have to be more consistent than him, but you can get out there and get with him on the raw speed side, sorry?
Yeah, I mean, definitely it's good, right? So, like, I feel like I am potentially closing that gap to where if we do have to, we have 6 motos left, and we're gonna go heads up again like that, and I'm ready for it, and I feel like I am closing that gap for sure on him. And I think obviously he was in front of me a little bit in that second moto for a while, and sometimes he would kind of get away or whatever, but I was able to close it back, and the intensity that we sustained through that entire moto, I guarantee you he had to have been feeling it a little bit. I mean,
I would hope, yeah.
for sure, you know?
Yeah. Thanks, Jared. Thanks for the call.
Thank you.
All right, Jerry Mart, we'll let you go here on the show. Thank you for coming on. I appreciate it. Thank you for putting up with me and my tweets about the dealership.
Yeah, man. I know, no hard feelings.
No.
I'm just pumped we could. Hey, no better way to hash it out than over the Pulp MX
Hey,
show.
Steve.
Yes.
All I gotta say, I take away from his conversation. He said in it he wanted to appreciate what it's like to have a dealership job like you did. So the next time you want to mouth off on Twitter, think of it. Jeremy did it so he could appreciate your position more.
Okay.
So shut up.
Thank you. It's a good point. No, J Mart, listen, I appreciate you coming on for sure. And obviously, look, it's been a great season. It's really fun to watch you two. And I have a feeling with 6 motos left, you two are going to start kind of raising the bar here a little bit. And may the best man win, man. It's gonna be great to watch. So thank you.
Hey, thanks for your honesty on a couple of those, Jeremy. It was really enjoyable.
Yep. Thank you, man.
All right, guys.
All right, see ya. That's Jeremy Martin, everybody, brought to you by VertexPistons.com, sales at pivotworks.com.